Hello students, I am Rituja Patil, a faculty from KLBCA College Nipani. So welcome to DBMS class. In last videos I discussed regarding the history of the DBMS. So in this video I am going to discuss regarding the DBMS system concepts and the architecture. Okay. See, the architecture of DBMS packages has evolved from the early monolithic systems, so where the whole DBMS software package was one tightly integrated system, to the modern DBMS packages that are modular in design with client or server system architectures. So this evolution mirrors the trends in the computing where large centralized mainframe computers are being replaced by today hundreds of distributed workstations and personal computers. They are also connected via some kind of a networks to various other type of server machines, say web servers, database servers, or file servers, application servers, and there are so many different types of servers are there, right? So in the basic client server DBMS architecture, the system functionality is basically distributed between the two types of modules, and which are those two modules are nothing but the first one is client module and the second is the server module. See, in the basic client server, the architecture of DBMS, okay, there the functionality of the system, it is distributed between the two types of modules, and those two types of modules are the client module and one more is the server module. So the client module, that is typically designed so that it will run on the user workstation or the personal computers, or say even in today's days we are having the mobile phones, right? So the client modules will run on the user systems now, and the application programs and the user interfaces that access the database, they also run in the client module itself. Okay, so hence the client module, what it does, it handles the interaction and it provides the user friendly interfaces such as forms or menu based uh, graphical user interfaces are there. So even um, other kind of module is what, that is the server module. So this handles the storage of the data, access to the databases, searches with the databases, and even other functions. Okay, so how the database is based on, architecture is based on, that is client server architecture module. So in the client module, it will be having, the client module usually runs where it runs on the client system, that is the client may be having the workstation or a personal computer or mobile phone, right? So this client module runs on the client system, and it has what, it has the application programs and the interfaces, application programs and the interfaces, so using which the user can interact with the database, and where the database is stored in the server module. Okay, the interfaces that access the database which run in the client module. So hence the client module, what it does, it handles the user interfaces. So different types of interfaces, say graphical user interfaces, or even the menu based interfaces, forms based interfaces will be there in the client module. And what about the server module? Server module typically handles the storage of the data, actual storage of the data. Okay, so actual storage of the data, actual database will be there in the server module. Okay, and even the how to access all those mechanisms and searching, that is the retrieval, and even any other different functions are there, the main modules are been there in the server module with respect to the databases. Okay, so this is regarding how the today's DBMS architecture is there, that is based upon the concept of client and server, just because today we are having the distributed environment. That's the reason even the modules are also distributed in two types. One is client module and another is the distributed another is the server module. Now let's talk about the another terminology, that is data abstraction. See, since I'm discussing here only the concepts of the database system, there is no flow. I'm just discussing the concepts, the terminologies which come under the database system. Okay, so another concept we need to know here is the data abstraction. So what is meant by abstraction? Abstraction in the sense showing only the important features and hiding the other details. So that is called as abstraction. Okay, so what the abstraction means, it refers to the separation of details of the data organization. Means exactly how, means actually how the data is being stored in the database, user don't know about it. He is not worried about how the data is organized internally in the database system on the disk and how it is stored. No, and only it highlights what the essential features for the improved understanding of the data. How it is understood by the user? Yes, if we are using the RDBMS, that is the Relational Database Management System, as a user or the implementer, designer of the database, I will be knowing only that my data is stored in the form of tables, but internally how it is organized, what is the structure for the data to store this in uh, on a disk, storage disk, that is not known for us, and that data will be hidden from the users, and only the users are shown the important features, only the users are shown the important features so that they can understand the data. Okay, so only so that they can understand the data, not any other details of the database. So that is called as data abstraction. So the abstraction definition is, it refers to the separation of details, means hiding of the details of the data organization, how the data is organized and how it is stored, that is under storage, and highlighting of the only essential, that is the important features for an improved understanding of the data which is stored in the database. Now we have another concept called as data model. What is this data model? See, it's nothing but a collection of concepts that can be used to describe the structure of a database, and it even provides the necessary means to achieve the abstraction. If you want to achieve the abstraction, then we have to use particular modules there. Okay, now what is the, data model then actually? See, look into the definition. See, it is nothing but set of concepts to describe the structure of the database and even the operations for manipulating these structures and certain constraints that a database should obey. Now, what is meant by this? See, set of concepts. So different types of concepts that come under the database system. The database model will include that. What are the different concepts that we come across in the database, and it describes even the structure of the database, means how the database should be stored, what should be the structure of our database, and then operations for manipulating these structures. Once we have thought and created a database with some structure, and later if we want to change the structure of the database, that can be done, that is called as manipulating. Okay, and it should have even the operations for manipulating the data afterwards also. And then certain constraints in the sense, in last videos I talked about it, constraints in the sense the conditions that the database should obey, means in particular database only this type of data has to be stored. Say for the register number of the student, only the number has to be stored there in that column, not the name, right? So that's a condition. Or say each and every student will be given a different registration numbers, so that is also condition. Means their two students cannot have the same registration number, that is also condition, right? So a particular data model includes all of these concepts. What are those? A set of concepts for describe the structure of a database and the operations for manipulating or updating those structures, and the certain conditions that any database should obey. Now, the database model structure and constraints regarding this. So constructs are, what are the constructs? What are the constructs here? So constructs are used here to define the database structures. Now, how do we define a database structure? How do we define a database? See, just one example for your understanding how the database will be. That is in the form of tables. Okay, like say this is in the form of tables. So databases are created in the form of tables, and the table will be including what? The number of rows and columns. The number of rows will be there in the columns. So in the first row we will be having the name of the fields. Say suppose if I am writing here the registration number, and this is the name, this is the address, and this is the age of the student. So these are the different fields, or we can say different columns, or we can say different characteristics, or say properties which are describing the particular say student, which are describing the student. Okay, so when we are creating, that is the database, the structure is nothing but that includes all these elements. That is the name of the table is student, and what are the data we are going to store there. Suppose if it is a registration number, it should include the numeric data, or some, if we are going to store some alphabets, so that also has to be stored there. So that has to be specified when we are creating the database itself. Okay, and this is one table student, and in university there may be another table called faculty, and as there exists a relationship between the student and the faculty. What is the relationship? Student learns from a faculty, or faculty learns teaches the student, right? So different types of relationships exist between the different groups, or say different entities. So those relations also has to be defined here when we are creating the database. Okay, so that is what the structure of the database, the different constructs which come under the database. Even constraints, in the sense it specifies some restrictions on valid data. See, if we are having the column age, okay, and if we are creating a database for the voters, if you are creating database for the voters, who can vote for an election, who can vote for an election? The person whose age is greater than 18, only that person can vote for an election, right? So the person who has age 18 or more than 18, only that person has an authority, only he has the permission to vote for an election. Yes, so if we are creating a table for the voters, then we have to include there the name of the people whose age is more than 18. Okay, whose age is more than 18. So that is a type of restriction, or say condition to enter the details of users in that particular table or in that particular database. Okay, so this is regarding the data model. So what we saw in the data model here, what is a data model? Data model is nothing but it is a set of concepts to describe the structure of a database and the operations for manipulating these structures, and certain conditions that the database must and should obey to be existing. Okay, now let's see the categories of data models. So there are basically three categories of data models are there. The first one is conceptual, or we can say high level data model, and then we are going to come across the physical data models, or we can call them as low level data models, or even the internal data models. And the third type of data model we have here is the implementation module, or the representational module. So three types of or three categories of data models available for us are conceptual data model or high level data model, first one, and second one is physical data model or low level data model, and the third one we have here is the implementation data model or the representational data model. Okay, Now what are these things? What is the conceptual data model? Or this conceptual data model is also called as high level data model, or is also called as semantic data model, or sometimes it is also called as entity based or object based data model as well. Okay, so these conceptual models, they provide the concepts which are close to the way that many of the users perceive the data. Okay, so conceptual data models, they use even the concepts such as entities, attributes, and the relationships. So here entities are nothing but, see, we have seen an university database, if you remember in the last videos. So in that university database, we have recognized the different entities which come under the university world, right? So which are the entities that we have recognized there? So we have recognized there the entities like student, okay, and the departments, then the grade reports, then the faculties. Okay, so these are all called as entities. Entity is nothing but any a real world objects, or we can say, if it's not the real world object, but at least it should be a concept that is existing in the real world. That should be the concept at least which has an existence. Okay, and what is meant by here the attributes? Attributes are nothing but the characteristics of that particular entity. Now if I consider student, with respect to student, register number of the student is an attribute, that is the characteristics which I can use to identify that the student is that this person is a student. And then students are having the name also, then even we are having the class for which they belong to, or say courses for which they have taken the admission and they belong to which department, and what are their grades, or we can have their contacts numbers, addresses, their age, their date of birth. So means the things which describe that particular entity, or which tells the what are the characteristics of that particular entity. Those are nothing but attributes. Suppose if I take an employee, so employees, each and every employee are having the IDs, right? So employee ID, I can say employees are also having the names. So employees are having the Aadhaar card numbers and their salary associated with them. So these are all things which are the characteristics or the properties which describe that particular entity, employee. Okay, so this is nothing but the attribute. Now talking about the relationships, so if I consider the student as one entity and teacher as another entity, so what is the relationship between a student and a teacher? It's a simple, student learns from a teacher, so here the learns from is and relationship, or teacher teaches a student, so here teaches, teaching is the relationship. Okay, so yes, these conceptual models, data models, use these concepts such as entities, attributes, and the relationships. Now just now I talked about what is an entity. Entity is nothing but this represents a real world object, or say concept, any real world object, say employee, student, even we can take table, chair. So these all things we can include as the entity. And then comes the attribute. So what are these attributes? These represent some property of interest, that is the property of the entity. Okay, that describes that an entity, that describes a particular entity, or characteristics which describe that entity, that is nothing but an attribute. So here employees are having IDs, names, or salaries, right? So by using all those characteristics, I can identify that he is an employee. Okay, and then I talked about here the relationship. So what is meant by relationship? The relationship among two or more entities represents the association among the entities. The relationship can be between two entities, or it can be between more than two entities as well. Okay, so what it does, it simply represents the association among the entities. So what are the associations among the different entities? Okay, so here employee is one entity if we consider, and project as another entity if we consider. So employee works on the project. So employee works on the project. So here the relationship between the employee and the project is works on. Okay, so in this case the relationship between employee and the project is the works on. Employee works on the project. Okay, so basically what are these conceptual data models? They are nothing but the models which use the concepts of entities, attributes and the relationships. Okay, now let's see another type of a data model, that is the physical data model, or this physical data model is also known as low level data model or internal data model. Why it is known as low level, internal or the physical data model? Because so this provides the concepts that describe details of how the data is stored in the computer storage medium and which storage medium has to be used. Okay, so these are the concepts which are provided by the physical data models. Okay, in the sense how actually the data is stored in the computer system. See, in the conceptual model, what I was known means as a user known that I am going to store my data in the form of table. That is student, he has ID, name, subjects, classes and all, right? So that is my view. That is called as conceptual view. Most of the users pursue the data in that format. But internally, do we think that is it stored in the form of tables only on the disks, on the storage disks? No, it is not stored in that format. So there will be different storage structures used that the user is not known about it. He is not known. He is not knowing regarding which type of a data structure is used to internally store our data. Okay, and these are the concepts provided by low level data models, and these are generally meant for the computer specialists and not for the end users. Means the people who are working at this low level, who are working at the level of physical model, means who are working with the hardwares, who are taking care of the hardwares of the databases. So they will take care of this, which type of a data structure has to be used, what are the uh, structures, what are the techniques we need to implement to access the data. So all those things will be taken care by the computer specialists who are working at that level. In the sense it describes, see actually the physical data models, they describe how data is stored as a files in the computer by representing the information such as what are the record formats, then record orderings, how should be the orderings of the records, that is the rows, what should be the ordering of those rows, and what are the access paths, so how to access them, what are the techniques to access them. That what an access path is, what is a structure that makes any search, that makes the search for a particular database records efficiently. So that is the access path, right? That is meant for accessing your data. So what should be used, which type of indexes should be used. So here what is an index? This is nothing but an example of an access path. Okay, so indexed based access paths can be used there, or how the data is organized in a linear manner or in a hierarchical manner, that is in the tree structures or networked model, or is there any other model is being used. So who will take care of this? The people who are working at this level, they will take care of the physical specifications of any database management system. Okay, now the next is implementation data model, or we can say representational data models. Now what are these implementation or the representational data models? See, These are the models which provide concepts that may be easily understood by the end users. In the sense, the representational data models, they usually hide many details of even how the storage of our database is there on this disks, but it can be implemented on computer system directly. Okay, and they also provide the concept that fall between the above two levels, the above two models, that is between the physical model as well as the between the physical model and the conceptual model. Okay, and they are mainly focusing on, these models are mainly focusing on balancing the user views along with some computer storage details, and balancing the user views with some computer storage details. Okay, so this is regarding the different models of the computer system. So there are three models we saw. First one is the conceptual model, second is the physical model, and third is the implementation model. So I'll just brief out today what all things in this video what all things I discussed. So I started with the database system concepts. So here we saw the DBMS architecture is based on the two models. One is client model, another is the server model. So in the client model, that is designed so that it will run on the user machines. So they may be any workstations or computers, and these applications, these client models will have typically the application programs and even the user interfaces. And server models, in the server model, actual data storage takes place. They handle the storages, access paths, search techniques, and some other functions. And then we saw the concept of data abstraction. What is meant by abstraction? That is hiding the details of the data organization, that is how the data is stored, and highlighting only the essential features for an improved understanding of the data. And then we saw here the data model. So what is data model? This is a set of concepts to describe the structure of a database, the operations for manipulating these structures, and even the some constraints, that is some conditions that database management system should obey. Means the database that we are storing in a database, it should obey, right? So we saw regarding what are those things, and then we started with categories of data model. There are basically three: conceptual, physical, and the implementation. So conceptual data models, they are what? They are usually close to the way that many of users like us, we perceive. In the sense, we know that we view the data in the form of table with respect to relational data models, if I talk about, right? And these conceptual data models work on the concept of entities, attributes, and even the relationships, right? So entities are nothing but it can be anything in the mini world. If I take an employee, he's an entity. The attributes of that employee are IDs, names, salary, which describe that particular entity. Okay, and then I discussed regarding the relationship. So relationship in the sense the association among the entities. So what are the different associations among the entities? Okay, so if I consider employee in the project, so employee works on the project. So here that works on is the relationship between that employee and the project. If I consider student and teacher, student learns from the teacher. So here learns from is a relationship. In reverse way, teacher teaches a student. So in this case, teaches is the relationship. Now, then I talked about the physical low level internal data model. So in this case, this model provides the concepts which describe what details of how actually the data is stored on the computer storage medium, which disks has to be used, and what are the different access paths can be used, whether indexes are being used, or what are the different modules that can be used, that is say for the storage purpose, for storing the database files, whether are we using the network model, hierarchical model, or different models are there, right? So that has to be chosen by these models. And then I talked about the implementation model. So this provides the concepts that fall between the physical models and the conceptual models, balancing the user views with some computer storage details. Okay.